Tottenham have officially confirmed their first signing of the summer as Pierluigi Gollini joins the club from Atalanta to be either our first or second choice goalkeeper, and that's something we're going to find out over the coming season. But the good news is that the first deal is over the line. It's one box ticked, and we now move on to many more. But we take a look at the reaction, the announcement itself, and everything on Twitter and across social media over the last 20 or so minutes since Spurs confirmed the signing of Gollini. But before we do get into that, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. 21 minutes ago, Tottenham tweeted, "We are delighted to announce the signing of goalkeeper Pierluigi Gollini from Italian side Atalanta on a season-long loan with an option to make the transfer permanent." Now, to give a bit more detail on that deal, from what we've heard from Fabrizio Romano, I think Gianluca Di Marzio and potentially Alistair Gold as well, this deal is a year-long loan deal with an option for a second year, but also an option within that contract to buy him for €15 million at the end of this season. That option can become an obligation to buy. If Pierluigi Gollini makes 20 appearances for Spurs this season, he will then become a player permanently for €15 million. Now, the initial agreement between the two clubs said that potential obligation to buy could be spread across the 2 seasons of the loan. However, Romano made it very clear in the last couple of days that is now changed. It is 20 appearances within the first season and the first season only for that to become an obligation for Spurs to buy for €15 million. And we are, in a lot of people's opinion, really getting a bargain for this player, because only last year and the year before, teams such as Inter Milan and Roma within Italy were looking to buy Gollini, and Atalanta were holding out for up to €35 million. So we've now got less than half of that. As low as €15 million we could be signing this player for, and it is our first deal done. Like I said, we're expecting a few more over the next week or two, with so many different players being linked to Spurs and so many different players being on the verge of joining the club. And I see a lot of people saying Gollini's interview was absolutely, it was really good, and it was a very good interview. I just want to bring a quote here, a few quotes here, courtesy of the Spurs web on Twitter. The first one, Gollini said, "My Italian teammates told me just go, don't even think about it. It's more than what I was expecting." And this is a fantastic quote from him. He says, "I'm here to show I can be the future of Tottenham. I'm now here with Hugo. He's a legend of this club. I'm sure I can learn a lot about him, a lot of him. As a team, we have to be really ambitious. We have to try and win something. This is a big club, and this should be our goal." Now, the question there that is yet to be answered, and I think will take quite a while within this season to be answered, is whether he's the future of Tottenham or whether he's the Tottenham's goalkeeper now. And I think the fact that he's showing he can be the future, maybe he knows he's not going to be straight going into that first team, that there is time that needs to be spent for him to actually get that number one spot off of Hugo Lloris. Jackson G with the super chat with the 5,001, thank you so much, says, "I hope he can be a great first choice keeper. His physical looks great for a goalkeeper." And yeah, look, a lot of keepers when they come into the Premier League have the problem with the physicality of it. I mean, David De Gea is the prime example of that. He really struggled in his early years in the Premier League, and I think Hugo Lloris as well could kind of be put in that under that umbrella too. You know, he struggled to get that place off Brad Friedel in his early times at the club, and he was just a really skinny goalkeeper, and he's bulked up since then and gone on to be an incredible goalkeeper for us. And now maybe Gollini could be that next man for us. But people, let me know in the chat what you're thinking about this one. Are you happy with this signing? Do you think we could have done better? What do you think? TSC Bonaldo says 15 million is a great price, and it really seems to be a really astute purchase from Spurs, which it doesn't happen very often. Maybe that's just Don Fabio really getting under his way, or getting into his way. And the announcer there from Spurs, mic check testing 1 2 3. Welcome to Spurs, Pierluigi Gollini. So many quotes here. The Spurs Express again saying, he said, "I'm here to show I can be the future of Tottenham," and this is a good signing for Spurs, because we know we needed a goalkeeper. Maybe you could say to replace Hugo Lloris when he does move on, but also just to challenge him at the moment, because he's never really had a goalkeeper that has the potential to replace him within that first team. And Gollini, having been in goals for the majority of the time, leading Atalanta back into Champions League football last season and being part of that really sturdy defence they built, he does have the ability to be that first choice goalkeeper if we do need him to be. And it'll be interesting to see just how quickly he maybe can get that first place in the team if it does happen. And he's played in England before, which I know is something that has been spoken about quite a bit on this channel and across other channels. He was in Manchester United's youth academy from 2012 to 2014. He then moved on he joined Hellas Verona in Italy before coming back to England in 2016, signing for Aston Villa. Made 20 appearances in his first season there. Was then loaned to Atalanta for the second season in 2017-18. And then in 2018, he made that deal permanent to Atalanta and has since made 78 appearances for them. And now on the 24th of July 2021, he becomes a Tottenham player, signing on loan. And there's a lot of excitement across Twitter with this one, which is absolutely brilliant. The contract, by the way, if this is made permanent, will run until 2026. So if we sign him next summer, it will be a 4-year contract. If we sign him in 2 summers, it'll be a 3-year contract. And that'll be running until 2026. Again, an option to buy for €15 million unless he makes 20 appearances this season, in which case it will become an obligation. Leith says he's perfect with the ball at his feet, and that is one of his key strengths. You can see it there beside me. His long passing ability is something that he really, really strives with, and it's the complete opposite of what we got used to from Hugo Lloris, because Gollini's shot stopping can be questioned, Lloris's can't. Gollini at his feet is incredible, where Lloris just hasn't really been on that throughout his time at Spurs. You know, every Spurs fan will know that when he gets the ball at his feet, you're terrified. You're waiting for Lloris to make some sort of mistake. Gollini is the complete opposite of that. Is very assured of his feet. I've been watching compilations of his best saves, and to be honest, they're not all that great. You'd expect the saves someone like his best saves across 70, 80, 90 appearances for Atalanta, whatever it is. Well, it's just not, it's not that great, and that is questionable, and that is a concern that we will have going into the new season. But with the ball at his feet and coming off his line, playing at the keeper sweeper role, he is absolutely fantastic at it, and that is what we do have to look forward to. And that's, different goalkeepers offering us different sort of traits, and that maybe is where we could start rotating these two this season, with the view of Gollini replacing Lloris next season. If we're playing a team like Manchester City, maybe we're going to be under the cosh a little bit, you could have Hugo Lloris playing. But if you want to play a more expansive attacking football, you could have Gollini there, because he can start these attacks with these long balls. He can be he can be the man sweeping at the edge of the box and allowing the team to push higher up the pitch, where Lloris just hasn't always been that goalkeeper. In the past, he has. There's no doubt about that. Lloris certainly was better at these sort of things when he was a bit younger, but at the moment, he's just struggling to be that goalkeeper, and potentially the chance to rotate between those two this season. But look, the deal is done. Oscar says you also have the 13 million for Toby, which then we can use that money for Koundé, with Sanchez going the other way. And that is another update. I was bringing 2 quick updates in centre backs. The first one is that I think it was the Daily Telegraph or the Athletic saying that Tottenham have accepted an offer from Al Duhail in the Qatar Stars League of £13 million for Toby Alderweireld. That deal being completed is now subject to personal terms and a medical. I don't really see why that would happen, because Alderweireld seemed to want to go home, which is why he's leaving Spurs. But I'm sure he'll get a big financial offer from Qatar if he is going to go over there. So we'll see how that one plays out. And the other update is, I understand from one of my sources that Tottenham have made a new offer for Jules Koundé. Now, I tweeted this out last night, and people weren't exactly too happy about it, which, look, I understand. I mean, I've never had I've only ever had one story like this before, where it was actually my source. It was Christophe Galtier, which I think was confirmed by some journalist later in the summer. But Tottenham have made a new offer for Jules Koundé, as far as I understand, and that is €50 million plus £5 million in add-ons, plus Davinson Sanchez. So that's a deal potentially worth between 80 and 90 million euro, which is in and around the current release clause that Jules Koundé has at Sevilla. And this one makes sense. And people are saying, why would we do that when we agreed a cheaper deal with them a few weeks back? And the reason that is given our purchase of Bryan Gil from Sevilla, they now don't need the money as badly, and they don't need to sell Jules Koundé. So if they are going to sell Jules Koundé now, they can do it entirely on their own terms, meaning they can hold out for a bit more money. What I tweeted was, it makes sense that this bid would be made. It's going to be more than rumoured in recent weeks, because after the sale of Bryan Gil, Sevilla can hold out for a higher price as they aren't in need of cash. They also like Sanchez. We know that. We know from every source out there that Sevilla want Davinson Sanchez, and using him in a deal like this as a bit of leverage could be a game changer for Tottenham as they try to get this deal done. Whether it's going to be Koundé, Romero and Kane, I really can't see a situation where that happens. But the kind of argument people are having is that if this deal is going to be in installments, we know Romano said Atlanta are willing to accept a fee in installments across a number of years. Well, then that could free up some money to go for Koundé. But personally, I can't see Koundé, Romero and Kane at Tottenham. But we're going to talk about that a lot more later on today. We will have at least one more stream. If we have another announcement, we will have another breaking news stream just to bring that news to you. But we will talk about Koundé, Sanchez, Romero, all of that later on. For now, do make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and as always, thanks for watching.